Right now, while you're scrolling through your phone or finishing that coffee, you feel pretty solid, right? Floors under your feet, roof over your head. You think the sky's just this big, empty wallpaper. But I'm gonna tell you something NASA won't put in a press release. We aren't living in a fortress. We're living in a house made of glass, and the neighborhood is a lot rougher than they like to admit. We built these massive telescopes, we launched the satellites, and we tell ourselves we're watching the perimeter. We're really not. We're basically trying to spot a black marble thrown across a dark parking lot at midnight using a laser pointer. It's cute, really. We've convinced ourselves that because we haven't been hit yet, we won't be. But the universe doesn't have a calendar, and it definitely doesn't care about your student loans or your weekend plans. In fact, if the lights went out for good tonight, the universe wouldn't even blink. It's just physics doing its thing. We're just a statistical fluke that hasn't been corrected yet. Listen to this. There are actual rooms in DC and at the Jet Propulsion Lab where people just watch. And nobody's talking about this next part, but they have contingency plans that basically consist of a shrug and a good luck. See, there's a massive difference between we haven't seen it and it isn't there. And there are 3 specific ways the universe can delete our entire save file before you even realize your Wi-Fi dropped. First one, the invisible bullet. You think we've mapped all the asteroids, right? Wrong. We've mapped the ones that stay in their lanes around the sun. But then there are the rogues. Imagine you're driving down a highway at night. You've got your headlights on, you see the cars around you. That's the solar system. Now imagine a semi-truck with no lights, painted van to black, driving 90 miles an hour perpendicular across the lanes. That's an interstellar asteroid. These things come from outside our system. They don't reflect much light, and they move fast. If one of these is headed for your zip code, we don't see it until it's crossing the orbit of the moon. At that speed, that's about a 2-hour heads up. You wouldn't even have time to get through the drive-thru at McDonald's before the atmosphere turns into a furnace. Then you've got the galactic sniper. Picture 2 dead stars colliding. In less than a second, they release more energy than our sun will produce in its entire 10 billion year life. If that beam points at Earth from a few thousand light years away, you won't see a fireball. You won't feel heat. You'll just be here and then you won't. It travels at the speed of light. That means the warning and the event happen at the exact same moment. When did you last look up and actually feel safe? Because if a gamma ray burst fired 1,000 years ago from a star 1,000 light years away, where do you think that beam is right now? It's right on our doorstep, and we're just sitting here hoping the universe has bad aim. And finally, the delete button. This one's a bit high level, but stick with me. Imagine the universe is a giant bathtub filled with water. We're the bubbles. Now imagine someone pulls the plug. Physicists have this theory called false vacuum decay. It says the universe isn't in its most stable state. It's like a ball sitting on a ledge. If something nudges that ball, it falls to a lower energy state. This creates a bubble of new physics that expands at the speed of light. Inside that bubble, atoms literally fall apart. You wouldn't even see it coming. Your brain would stop processing information before the light from the event even hit your eyes. 1 second, you're a human being with a life. The next, you're a collection of subatomic particles that forgot how to hold on to each other. Look, the real answer isn't what you want to hear, but it's the only honest one. There is no plan B. We can't nuke a vacuum decay, and we can't hide from a light-speed radiation beam. But honestly, that's the beauty of it. Most people spend their lives stressed about things that don't matter. They're worried about an email or a dent in their car, but when you realize the sun could technically burp and fry our power grid in 20 minutes, it kind of makes those small problems feel small. The only real solution is to realize how lucky we are that the delete button hasn't been pressed today. But look, asteroids and vacuum decay are maybe scenarios. There's something much closer, something that's actually happening to our magnetosphere right now that nobody's bringing up in the news. It's moving the North Pole faster than it has in centuries. But that's not even the scary part. We'll get into why your compass might be lying to you in the next one. If this kept you up tonight, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Stay sharp. Catch you in the next one.